Well, Merry Christmas! Indeed, it is Christmas Day, and I hope all of your Christmas wishes came true this year, and I hope you didn't have too much eggnog and rum, because that can really get the stomach all rumbly, no matter how delicious it is. But seeing as it is Christmas Day, I did want to do a video that did kind of focus on the whole meaning of Christmas, and who better to talk about the meaning of Christmas than the Grinch! That's right, the Dr. Seuss classic, and it's coming up right now. So, hurrah, let's go! So, it's Christmas Eve in Whoville, and all the Whovians are decorating the town. They're singing happy, wonderful songs. Like, everyone is having a great time. Everyone, except for one hermit that lives on top of Mount Crumpet, the person known as the Grinch. Well, him and his cute puppy dog Max, bark bark, and the Grinch is jerk number one, right? Like, he hates the Who's, he hates Whoville, and he mostly hates Christmas. He hates how the Who's decorate, how they make all this noise around this time of year, and worst of all, it's all the singing that they do. Like, bah humbug indeed. So the Grinch decides, he should do something about it. Would he decide to move further away from Whoville to avoid all of these things that he can't stand? No! He decided he's going to dress up as Santa Claus, go into Whoville, and steal Christmas from the Who's. He dresses up Max as his reindeer, and he even made a makeshift sleigh. So now that his plan is all coming to fruition, the Bizarro Santa is ready to un-Christmasify the town. And pretty similar to the same way Santa Claus does things, right? Going from house to house, and totally being efficient and quiet. All of the Who's, man, they must be really deep sleepers if they haven't heard a single commotion in their house this whole time, right? But one little girl did hear a racket, and that was Cindy Lou who is no more than 2. And she is not at all impressed that Santa Claus is trying to gank her tree up the chimney. She's all like, what the hell, Santa? Like, that's our tree, man. So the Grinch looks this child dead in the eye and lies to her face. And after she's totally satisfied with the lie, he completely cleans the place out. Like, he takes more than just the Christmas stuff, he takes everything. And he does the same thing to every other house, right? One by one. Till eventually, every house is empty and the sleigh is full. So at that point, the Grinch takes off back to Mount Crumpet. If Santa Claus can fly around from house to house all around the world so fast, maybe it's not out of the realm of possibilities that the Grinch can do all this emptying of the houses, in one night too. And so Max, the strongest dog in the world, dragged the sleigh up 10,000 feet to the top of the mountain, like the very tippy top, right? Where the Grinch is in gleeful anticipation of hearing the Who's cry out that there is no Christmas this year. But what did he hear? He didn't hear any crying, he didn't hear any sadness or anything. The Who's were all singing and they were all still happy. And the Grinch was completely flabbergasted by this. Nothing added up. But then he had an epiphany. His whole concept of Christmas was all about the gifts and the toys, the decorations. But what if he was wrong and that's not what Christmas is about? What if it's actually about love and joy and peace on earth? What if it's from the heart, not from the wallet? And this revelation about what Christmas is all about actually blew his mind to the point where his eyes turned from yellow and red to white and blue. Suddenly, the sleigh full of all the Who possessions start to slide off the backside of the mountain peak. And in a gravity-defying feat, the Grinch and Max stop the sleigh from crashing down into the large crevasse below. How did he do it? Well, the love of the season made his undersized heart grow 3 sizes. And that was enough to give him superhero strength to pull the sleigh out of danger. And now that he's all filled with the love of Christmas, he brings back all the Who's belongings and rectifies his wrongdoings, which is met with love and acceptance from all the Who's in Whoville. And they even have him as the guest of honor at their roast beast feast. Welcome, welcome, Christmas Day indeed. And with that is the end of our Grinchy tale. Yeah, hey, like, what an awesome special, right? Man, it's so good, like, everything about it, There's the anti-Christmas conflict, there's the pro-Christmas wonderfulness, and there's the resolution at the end. Like, man, what more can you ask for? Like, even the character of the Grinch, man, this guy is just so freaking amazing. He's a complete jerk, you know, he's totally self-centered, self-absorbed, but still, when you're watching this, as he's trying to destroy Christmas, you're still kind of rooting for him in a way. Yeah, even watching this as a kid, man, I was never really kind of bothered by the fact that he was trying to take Christmas away from people, you know? He was still a funny character, even though he was breaking and entering and stealing, you know, but... And I guess that's why it's even more wonderful at the end when he does actually come to the realization that Christmas is awesome and amazing, you know? It's even more like, yeah, it's like, we told you, man, we always knew you were a good dude, you know, but now you just get it. And the Grinch is still like a super awesome Christmas character, right? I actually know people who, when they decorate their house for Christmas, every decoration, every ornament, everything is strictly Grinch. You know, stuff like this, and like this, but like everywhere. My place is kind of more Rankin and Bass Christmas, like my little buddy here, so I can totally dig a completely Grinched out place. And of course his beloved dog Max, who has like so much personality of his own. And another really awesome, amazing thing about this special is the music. Like the main song from it, "You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch." Like, what an absurd song, but at the same time, what an amazing song. And you still hear that every year at Christmas. It's right up there with Stairway to Heaven, I mean Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Even though it's a Christmas song about how horrible one person is, you know? But still, that's how awesome the Grinch is, even when he's a complete jerk. And like, this is a really historic kind of Christmas special as well for the whole Christmas special realm, right? Like, we're talking the mid-60s, man. This is the golden age of Christmas specials. You had the Charlie Brown Christmas special, you had the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer special, you have this Grinch special. They were all so popular and so amazing that they just blew the doors open for everybody else to make Christmas specials because that's how popular they were. Like, there weren't really any Christmas specials before these ones, really, right? Like, you had Christmas movies, sometimes you had a TV show do a Christmas episode, but for a bona fide Christmas special? No, man. Grinch, Chuck, and Rudes, man, they were the ones really who did it. So if for some silly reason you haven't seen this yet, I strongly recommend you check it out, man, because it is phenomenal. Oh yeah, for music, I almost forgot. Yeah, the song at the end there, Yahoo, Yahoo. Like that one, man. Like, that is actually a really good song, a Christmas song, right? Like, a really good, like, couple of tunes in there, man, but, like, they really knock it out of the park. So, yeah, like, I do have some more behind-the-scenes things, you know, some other things about the Grinch and Christmas and, you know, whatever, man, so let's go check that stuff out right now. Alright, so the Grinch, eh? So how did our fine furry friend here come to be one of our most beloved Christmas characters? Well, let's take a look, shall we? So, we have a children's author named Ted Seuss Geisel, most commonly known as Dr. Seuss. You know that guy, right? He came up with some classics, you know, like Cat in the Hat, Horton Hears a Who, you know, stuff like that, right? He figured he should make some more characters, and he had this idea for a character named the Grinch. So, the first Dr. Seuss mention of the Grinch happened in a short poem called The Hubbub and the Grinch, which was published in Redbook magazine in May of 1955. And well, you know, it's not your classic Grinch, really. Like, he was a random Seussian looking character, wasn't even green, you know? And he was selling a piece of wire from Quebec to the Hubbub, so I don't know what that's got to do with Christmas. But he decided to work on this Grinch character a bit more. Well, you know, at least the name, I guess. And he had some further inspiration for the story of this new Grinch book. So Dr. Seuss has a quite strong dislike for the commercialization around Christmas and, you know, decided to focus his story pretty much on that. Also, he was in a mood, you know, for a while. As he put it, he was in quite a Grinchy mood, you know? One thing with, you know, the whole commercialization of Christmas really kind of got him sour on the season. So he decided to take all that negativity and all that stuff and put that into his Grinch character, which is why he is so foul and mean. And bam! In 1957, you had this Christmas masterpiece book released, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And this book really was definitely Dr. Seuss trying to regain his love for Christmas, which has soured over the years. Like I mentioned, the commercialization of the season was a major factor in it. And how long did he feel soured like that? Well, in the book, the Grinch lamented that he put up with the Whoville celebrating Christmas loudly for 53 years. When the book was published, Dr. Seuss was 53 years old. So it seems like a lifetime that he was perturbed by all this. And the whole point of the ending, where Christmas isn't about gifts, but it's about the love around the season. That was Dr. Seuss learning to love Christmas again, which is obviously a fantastic story. And those same concepts, being against commercialization and finding the meaning of Christmas, was echoed in the legendary TV special, A Charlie Brown Christmas, which came out in 1965. And that special was a massive success, right? Like right off the bat, right? So it's only natural that the Grinch soon followed Charlie Brown and got animated. And with that, our feature special from today aired in 1966. And it had a lot of heavy hitters in the industry working on this thing. First off, the voice, right? The legendary Boris Karloff voiced the Grinch and was also the narrator. And Boris Karloff knows a thing or two about how to handle a famous green character, as he is most known for his portrayal of Frankenstein's creature, which is one of my favorites. Also, and really most importantly, you had legendary animator Chuck Jones produce and direct this special. And if you had no idea who he was, man, he is best known for all of his work on the classic Bugs Bunny and Looney Tunes cartoons from back in the day, man. And those cartoons are still phenomenal to today. And Chuck Jones does deserve a lot of credit for this special being a success. Like, Dr. Seuss didn't actually want any of his books to be TV specials or anything like that, but Chuck Jones did persuade him, to have this special made. And when Dr. Seuss was thinking about Boris Karloff, he was thinking more about Frankenstein's monster, and he thought he would be too scary for the children, and he didn't want him casted. But again, Chuck Jones was like, hey man, dude's cool, man, we should really hire him. And eventually Dr. Seuss agreed. The Grinch's dog, Max, was somewhat based on Chuck's childhood dog. Well, his personality anyway. And he is a pretty charming dog. Him being the happy, loyal puppy with a whole bunch of charms. So again, a great character that Chuck Jones helped develop. And Chuck also slightly altered the look of the Grinch and gave him his fabulous shade of green fur. And of course, with all that, this special was a massive hit. And it still is to this day, right? So much so that other adaptations have been made from this story and from this cartoon special. In the year 2000, there was a Ron Howard live-action movie adaptation starring Jim Carrey as the Grinch, which of course it was much longer than this 22-minute special, so they flushed out a lot more of the backstory with the Grinch, with Cindy Lou Who and all those things, and which is still a great movie in my opinion. In 2018, there was another movie, but in computer-generated cartoon form with Benedict Cumberbatch as the Grinch, in the movie simply called The Grinch. In 2007, there was a short-lived musical theater adaptation, which was also shown on Broadway and did a bit of a tour around the United States. And this year, 2022, there is going to be a horror parody version of the movie called The Mean One. And The Grinch was popular enough to have other specials as well. There was a Halloween special called Halloween is Grinch Night, and that came out in 1977. It was more of a prequel to this Christmas special, as the Grinch was, still kind of a jerk trying to scare kids, but the kids weren't having none of it. There was also a crossover special called The Grinch's The Cat in the Hat, where, as you can imagine, Dr. Seuss's two main characters go all Avenger style in this story. I'm not even sure what it's about. I'm assuming they're kind of battling in one way or another. So yeah, there's quite a bit of Grinchness going on. A character that's not gonna go away, and we'll see a lot more of him in the future in one way or another. But yeah, so far things are looking pretty good. But with that is the end of this wondrous, pondundrous tale. Right on, and there you go. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked it as much as I did making it. Also, feel free to check out the source material that I featured in this video. And if you want to leave a comment on anything you may have liked or things I might have missed in this, feel free to do so. Or anything else, just to say hi. That's cool too. And other than that, have a great day. Thanks.